Cool, so this will be the efficiency on the Dark Age, and this will probably be like the most boring one because it's actually the exact same map seed as the last one. But I do want to make the videos interesting because if like a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, like it doesn't matter. And if I make a video that's super boring and no one wants to watch it, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, if you just want to get good, as like this will just help you so much, like it's beyond belief. Because like literally, like even at a pretty high level, people don't do this as well as they should. A majority of the time. So the first thing I like to do is find my first 4 starting sheep because you want to get those dead under the TC as soon as possible. I always like to find a good wood line. So he has that going on. He's got his sheep. He's got his nice wood line. Barely has to walk towards it. One thing you can do is when this sheep is at about 8 food is just grab all the vills and go kill the next sheep, and you can see how he's moving it close to the other vills. You can see he killed it right there, and there's still like 3 food left on that other sheep. It's better to do that in lag than it is to have the vills like just stand around after the sheep's gone and just idle, because they'll do that sometimes. You'll get used to seeing it. Always want to have them working. Better to have a little bit of food rot. Can't always do it all the time because the scout's scouting around and stuff like that. You can see later on, oh, he just did it right now. He moves the sheep next to the bill so they don't have to walk at all. You can see right there, that's how they walk around for that extra second or two. Not good. Good spot for the lumber camp. You want to put it like in a crevice or whatever, like here, because you can see as they cut around the wood, they'll still be close to the lumber camp. Where if you put it, I'm trying to think of a worse spot. If you put it, okay, I'll stick with this spot. Some people like, I guess more over here, like if you didn't think about it at all, like once these 3 trees were gone, all of a sudden they'd be further away from the lumber camp, where here it's deeper in the trees, and so as he cuts through the trees it's still close. Hopefully that makes sense. It's not rocket science. But yeah, it kind of sucks because you actually have to pick out 2 good spots for both your lumber camps. And you'll see later on he puts a lumber camp right here, so it's the same thing. It's like the perfect spot for the lumber camp. He has a really good wood line. He'll put it here, right up next to the trees. Also want to micro your vills so that they're hitting the trees as close to the lumber camp as possible, and you'll get used to this. I forgot I'm using grid mod. It's a mod on Boobly, and HD has it too, so that's why there's a grid. And this is Pussywood, so the trees are smaller. Forgot to say that in the first video because I didn't even think about it. But you just get so used to doing stuff. So actually here, you can see this bill. It's hitting this tree. It should actually be hitting this tree. I've never noticed that before. But the reason being, if it hits this tree, and then later on another bill will hit this tree, you can see it'll start killing all the trees around the lumber camp, and you've got a nice buffer for all the vills to be like 1 tile away from the tree line to the lumber camp, and it ends up working out better. So if at all possible, hit the tree next to the thingy. You can see he's doing it with this bill. As technically it doesn't matter for this bill because I can just get rid of this tree and then do the next one and whatever, but bore right under the TC makes a big difference. Less food rot, you get the food faster, you don't have to worry about drops as much and all that good jazz. Easier to drop too. If this ever happens where you've got this thing happening, it's I think a little better to put everything on board and then have one bill finish up the sheep. Here's just using 2. It's whatever. And if you can garrison in the TC and then garrison out onto it, it's better because you don't have to walk around like this. And you can notice it better if you're playing a game with no lag, like in single player. If you're moving a bill from over here, garrison in the TC, and pop it out over here, it ends up like skipping all this space. And there's like this cool video where people put like a ton of TCs or towers next to each other, and they just on garrison a bill across the map, and it's faster than the Cobra car. So like it's a quick way, it's a more efficient way to like move places. So that's why you see players doing that. There's also an on garrison to just go to your rally point key. I have it on Z. I don't know what it is by default. And an on like a go back to work key to on garrison, where you can just hit it, and whatever they were doing, if they were getting like stone over here, they'll just go back to stone no matter where your rally is. And mine is W, I think. It's hard because you're not playing, so you don't do it. I think it's W. Yeah, it's gotta be W. And then I just do that. It's hard, man. You don't even think about it. You just like do it while playing. So, and there's like a million hotkeys in this. The other thing, better this boar. I said in the first video, a little sooner rather than later. It's more of a feel thing. You kind of get used to it. Berries, if you put, honestly, mill placement doesn't matter like too much. Just don't have it like somewhere crazy. I mean, right up next to it like this on the. Generally, if you put it right up next to it, kind of on the side where the fatter berries are, it's always pretty solid. But you want the vills 2 and 2 on each side on the closest berries like he has here, and they'll start bouncing around, and the more that you play, the more you'll get used to just grabbing them and keeping them on the berries that are close there. And to keep them from walking around, because again, anytime they're not walking around, they're not gathering stuff, and that ends up not being good. What else did I want to say about that? So vills gather 10 resources every 30 seconds in Dark Age. This is a good way to think about it. Pretty easy to figure stuff out. You got 20 resources per minute, so it's pretty straightforward. You see right here, that guy right there is kind of starting to walk around, but Jordan grabbed it and put it back over to this tree. You can actually see where he's clicking if I put it on here. So when he sends all these vills to wood, you can see how he micros them. Scout, we'll ignore that. You can see he's only building the lumber camp with one guy. Clicks up feudal. And yeah, he just clicked this guy to this tree right here. Oh, he even clicked it. Yeah, I was gonna say, 'cause he needs a vill on this tree, so he even moved it again. This is something you want to do last though, because like when you're playing single player, just do it to get used to doing it. And like how, oh, there's the berry vills walking everywhere, and you just grab them and move them back towards this patch. Again, moving the sheep closer to the other sheep. If he had time to, he could grab all these and go kill the other sheep when there's like about 8 food left or whatever, 6 food left, depending on how laggy the game is. Oh, the wood line's not that, like, if you've got the speed to do it, and it's not just about speed, but like, because you kind of have to get used to what you're doing on the map. It's like both speed and it's like game knowledge as a whole too, because you kind of have to have the game. The more you can have the game planned out in feudal and castle and what will usually happen, the more time it frees up mental power to like come jump back and micro your wood line. But again, it's like free stuff, so just be aware of it. It for sure will get better in time, like I guarantee you. When someone first told me to micro my wood line at first, like I think it was like 1800 HD or 1900 HD even, and I was like, you're effing crazy, like that's insane, you're insane, like to do all that, and then you just do it now, and it's just like one of those things. You just get used to doing it more and more. Like I'm far from perfect. Jordan's better than anyone else I've seen do it though, as far as microing wood line. But he also plays more standard than anyone else, so I think that's why Viper doesn't do it as much, because he's spending more time on scouting and stuff, which is actually more important. You start getting diminishing returns microing your wood line and all your stuff too much. That's pretty much it though. I'll do a second video on feudal, because feudal's the hardest age to get down. I'm just gonna pause it right here. At any level, feudal's hard, and I used to think, I mean, I used to get so lost in feudal, it was ridiculous, and I didn't realize at the time, but there's a reason I was getting lost. It's because it's an insane age, and I think it's the hardest age to know how to play correctly. So, yep, I'll stop this video here and jump to the next one.